What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn here on Flip with Rick. And today we are talking about how wholesalers stop being scared to talk to sellers. If you have this phobia or fear, I am here to not only squash it, kill it, but to give you actionable steps so you can actually have a conversation with sellers without freaking out. Now, the first thing you must understand in this phobia is you've got to recognize it. So do me a favor, put in the comments if you have a fear of talking to sellers. I know I did when I first started, but I was at rock bottom. Like I had nowhere to go but up. But a lot of you are watching this video because you have an absolute phobia or fear of talking to sellers. And what we need to do is just break it down and find out, what are you so scared about? And then once you realize it's not as big of a deal as you think it is, let me show you how to move forward. Because the first step is recognizing your fear, then compartmentalize it and like, how can I defeat it? And then take actionable steps to actually accomplish your wholesaling goal without being overcome with fear. And I would say a majority of people on this that watch this secretly have some sort of fear deep down inside, especially if you're just getting started in wholesaling. Guys, I didn't admit it at the time, but like at some point we have to lose our ego and recognize what our biggest fear is. And what I'm going to teach you is the faster you take actionable steps to attack your fears is how you fix it. The longer you take, the worse and more power you give your fear, and it'll eventually take you out. So if you are struggling with this and you're tired of it, this is going to be the live stream for you. Now, I've got 21 years of wholesaling experience with dealing with sellers. So I'm going to tell you, I have seen every worst case scenario, and I'm going to break it down for you today because it's not nearly as bad as you guys think it is. I promise you, this will be extremely educational. I'm speaking from a place of I want to help because I've had hundreds of thousands of conversations. I've had some conversations go very bad, but honestly, guys, at the end of the day, I'm still here. And so if I can survive 20 years of ridiculous conversations with sellers, you can survive one day because all you have to do is take it one day at a time. It's real simple. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So guys, listen, don't be fearful. Like if you even put it in the comments, I'm not going to call you to the table to do it. I would love to role play with someone today, but that's up to you guys if you want to do that. So let's just start with what the basic problem is and why people fear, why people fear talking to sellers. And it's simple. Number one, first of all, you've got to understand, the first thing you have to understand when talking to sellers is they're not going to hurt you. Like this is not a physical UFC match, although sometimes, boy, it'd be a lot easier. But the fear is words. And remember, the only person that can hurt you without physical violence is how you interpret the words. It is all your interpretation of when a seller tells you something, of how it affects you. Does it hurt you? Does it scare you? Remember, only you can give every word a meaning. The only way that you can get truly offended or upset in life is you let somebody do it to you. So if you know you have the power to gatekeep it and understand it, then that's where you want to start with. So sellers' words can't hurt you. Period. I've never been physically hurt. I've done this 21 years. I've had some weird stuff happen to me. That's a different conversation. But understanding the seller's words won't hurt you. It's your interpretation of the words that cause so much damage. So we need to start and figure out how to internalize and how to fix this. So I'm going to give you the easiest step. I'm not going to give you the Tony Robbins seminar because that's a whole different one. And I'm not at his level. An amazing man if you want to check him out. Remember, all words, no matter if it's in business or personal, the only person that can hurt you is yourself because of the meanings you give these words. So start looking at your meanings of words and play with it. You'll find that you're the gatekeeper. You can be happy anytime you want. It's a complete choice. So number one, don't ever let a seller wreck your day. If it's positive, if it's negative, you go home to your family and you take care of them because I promise you, you will have negative word days. And I just move on. You have to shake it off as soon as possible. And you can't let it just, you can't simmer in the rearview mirror. So understanding that. So let's talk about wholesalers. Stop being scared to talk to sellers. You've got to stop struggling with this. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you have this fear, if you do not overcome it as a wholesaler, you're going to be out of business due to lack of cash flow, period. So if you want to be a wholesaler and this is your commitment and you have a fear or you struggle with talking sellers, let's just rip the Band-Aid off right now. This is going to be your $5,000 course that every guru charges you. I'm just going to give it to you for free today, but you've got to pay attention because this all rings true. So we have to ask ourselves, where does fear come from? Now, I'm specifically talking about fear inside of wholesaling, which the number one fear from what everybody tells me on my live streams is, I don't know what to say. I'm scared to talk to sellers. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Slow down. So really, fear is just defined this way. Fear comes from uncertainty and lack of confidence. That's all it is, especially when it comes to talking to sellers. This presentation is geared around how to talk to sellers. Everybody wants to teach you how to get leads and do all that stuff. And me and Zach love doing that. But actually, once you get that lead and you got to engage the seller, if you do not master this skill right here, you're going to be crushed. I know what you're thinking, like, well, Rick, how the hell am I supposed to be good at talking to people if I'm uncertain and I have a lack of confidence? You just got to do the opposite. We're making this too complicated. You got to get certain. How do I get certain? Go over to freewholesaling.com and start taking action to educate yourself on real steps that real wholesalers take to get deals under contract now. The education part is important. A lot of you guys get some bad information out there. It's up to you to decipher who you want to work with. I would find someone that's done wholesaling for a very long time because there is certainty and consistency. So many people came in this business 2013, 14, and they have never seen a dip in the market, and most of them aren't prepared for it. But remember, wholesaling, by the way, anyone who is mentoring you or teaching you says they got killed in wholesaling in 2021, 22, or 23, or even 24, it means they're not wholesaling. You can't get killed in wholesaling if you do the fundamentals of wholesaling. So make sure you decipher who you're getting your information from. Most of the time, those people are talking about speculations, fix and flips. Guys, you can go to traditional seminars for that. You can go to your A&E TV flip shows. It's all for show because 9 times out of 10, the investor is not in control of the profit. It's how good their construction crews are and how quick they can turn the profit. Yes, if you put it with good deals, it usually winds up well. But the reality, they have specialty people in there. They have project managers. I don't teach any of that. My specialty is teaching wholesaling. And the path to wholesaling is dealing direct with sellers and having real authentic conversations with them. That's how it works. So how do I move forward if I'm uncertain? I've already told you how to do that. freewholesaling.com. Number 2, lack of confidence. I'm here to tell you, all lack of confidence is, you ready for this? It's a lack of belief in yourself mostly. Now, let me give you a little tool for how to really fortify your belief. Everybody watching this show that has an interest in wholesaling, I love you, first of all. Number 1, I think you're amazing and you're a special person. But you all have a belief about wholesaling. Either Rick told you, Zach told you, somebody in the business told you. Phenomenal. I congratulate the person that brought you into wholesaling, because even people I don't agree with that bring and attract people into wholesaling to actually help sellers out, I think they are special people too. Even though I don't agree with everything they do, but that's how life is, and especially how America is. Now, if you have a belief that wholesaling is going to set you financially free and you can help out a lot of homeowners, you are correct. If you have a belief that you have a skill set that you have the most empathy for people, and for that reason you can help out more people than the average wholesaler, you are correct. Here's the problem. The minute someone pulls that bow back and fires an arrow into your belief, most of your belief is like what's that movie? You ever watch Ghostbusters where the guy says, he goes, they threaten him. They go, listen, whatever's in your imagination is what you're going to have to fight with. So he dreams of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right? How harmless can that be? Winds up being like a 40-story giant tall, like marshmallow that's attacking them. The problem here is what I'm telling you is your belief is like a big fluffy marshmallow. It has no context. It has no fortification. It's soft. And these arrows penetrated. Who are these arrows? They're your family. They're your friends. They're other people in the business. It's somebody in the internet. Maybe it's somebody in the comments here that you're just like, holy crap. But guys, I'm here to tell you, here's the easiest way to do it. You got to fortify your belief. So if your belief is the shell, so if your belief is like a, what's a good word for it? Kind of like an Oreo cookie, that's soft, creamy stuff on the inside. You're going to have something tough on the outside. This is called conviction. And conviction is your commitment. Your willingness to say, no matter what happens, I'm moving forward with wholesaling. No matter what a seller says to me, I'm going to learn to move forward because I lack certainty and I lack confidence. And there's only one way I can get it, by moving forward. Most belief gets shot down without conviction. Conviction goes, your arrows mean nothing. Keep shooting them on back. I'm going to keep going. When I started in 2003, my belief got attacked horribly by some of the people I thought were my closest friends, family that I thought had my back, questioned everything I did. And I found out without conviction, you're not going to stay the course. It means you're so concerned what others think about you, you're willing to give up your own beliefs to fit in. Don't be that person. It sucks. You don't want to be there. So we've got to understand, if we know confidence is a lack of belief, what you're short on confidence, we need to figure out how to fix it. So how do we fix this, guys? Let's talk about this. I'm going to go through a list of things that's shattering your confidence right now as a wholesaler. And then when we're done with this, I'm going to show you, I'm going to take out, hopefully my iPad here, and I'm going to show you how to actually beat it. But I got it upside down, so let's see if it'll switch. Okay. So number one, you ready for this? This is thoughts that ran through my head, and I talk to you guys almost. So by the way, me and Zach now talk to you guys 6 days a week. Go find other committed wholesalers that want to teach in this business that will contact and reach out and do lives and everything like we do 6 days a week. I'm still waiting for it. But anyways, here we go. You actually don't believe you're the right fit for the seller. You mentally think this before you get there. And you know what? If you believe that, you're right. So you're going to have to change it. Here's how I approach every seller. I'm never above anybody I meet. I know I'm the best fit for him. I know every seller I meet with will walk away a better person with the experience of meeting with him. It doesn't mean I'm always going to be able to buy their house, but I'll treat them with respect. I'll be the best listener they've ever had in their life. And once I get that data, I'll present them a solution to actually fix their problem. And by building trust and rapport, my goal is to get a positive response to move forward with them. That's it. That's my only goal when I meet with a seller. So before you walk in and meet with a seller, you have to know you are the best fit. Go, well, Rick, I don't know a damn thing about wholesaling. Good. You're actually better, in my opinion. I meet more stubborn wholesalers who think they know absolutely everything, and they're broke. Some of the best wholesalers I meet are people that just start out because they don't have any preconceived notions. Like, guys, I suck at golf. I enjoy the camaraderie. I'm just not in love with golf. I like golf. I don't love golf. I love fishing. I love boating. I love the UFC, stuff like that. I love combat sports. I love wrestling. Why? Because it's the ultimate challenge for a competitor. And unless you put your butt out there and understand it, wholesaling is extremely similar. You put your butt out on the line and you're not positive of the outcome, but I walk out the most confident person, even when I wrestled in high school. And when I go out, I took those same skills my coach taught me then, and I employ them in wholesaling. The same things I taught my son. It's just the same things I'm teaching you right now. You got to believe you're the absolute best fit for it. People are better off being in contact with you. And if you're not, you need to work on it. Period. That's number one. Number two, you have to believe you can do it. The word try, dude, lose it. Try. The word but, I think, I tried, I heard. All of these words I do not recognize in my vocabulary. When anyone ever used the word tried, I heard, but, I'm done. Remember, but is just going to negate everything before. It's to fluff you up, to hit you with a hard truth or their interpretation or their opinion. And I never let it waver how I feel. So when someone tells you, I'm going to try, you better carefully listen to what they say, because try means I'm going to do a half-ass effort. And if I get lucky, I'll move forward. If I don't get lucky, I'll probably quit. I don't like people that try. I don't understand it. The word scares the hell out of me. It's like a 4-letter word to me, and I don't like it. So the word but, I hate but. I hate the word I heard or you should. These are all like opinionated things that have no factual basis and will never help you in life. They're used to help you fortify your excuse, to make your ego right, to soothe you like a pacifier because you're scared and uncomfortable. Today, we're going to deal with that. If you can't believe you can't do it, then you're right. You can't do it. I can't convince you of that. Anything is possible. But I'm telling you, wholesaling is 100% doable, possible. But the minute you still, I don't think I can do it. I don't, get rid of it. Absolutely. Put in the comments, say, I can 100% do this wholesaling thing. It is up to you and nobody else. Please, guys, you got to understand that. Next one. This is a big one. I hear this all the time. You feel like you can't close the deal, like you have an imposter syndrome. Most of the time you feel that way because you're not comfortable with wholesaling. And remember, I always talk about being uncomfortable. Join the club, guys. I do deals right now that make me wildly uncomfortable because they're $10 million and up. I'm just not used to the extra zeros. It's just an extra zero. I went from $10,000 houses to $100,000 houses to $1 million houses, and now to $10 million commercial deals. And I'll probably do it all again whenever I get to 100 million. I'm not there. I'm learning. I believe I can do it. I believe I'm the best fit when I meet with these people. I just got to learn their language and understand their processes because they get more advanced as you go up. That's the beauty of wholesaling. It never stops. It continues to grow. Now, do I feel like an imposter? A little bit, but I go along with it and I learn as I go. You're going to do the same. You are not an imposter. You're there to actually help people and hear them out. If you feel like you're an imposter from day one, you can't move forward. So you've got to shake that. The next one is, I don't know if this is just like realtors. I heard somebody say on the internet that I believe that you should get your real estate license because people take you more seriously. I have a counter argument to that. I don't think you take wholesaling seriously because you got your real estate license, because it's your backup plan. You guys ever met David Goggins? He says, burn the boats. I tell you in wholesaling, only get your license if you are forced by the state to do it, or you got legal representation that say this is the only way you can do it. There's very few places to get it. I will side with that. Anyone who tells you you have to get your license because that's the only way to take you seriously, I'll bet you $10,000 they have a real estate license. Do you see the bias in that? Honestly, when I meet with wholesalers and they have their license, I really want to hear the story of why you got it. Now, here's one I accept. Listen, I started out being a real estate agent. I figured I can make more money wholesaling. I just kept it going. Okay, I'm fine with that. But you can't go around and tell people you got to get your real estate license to take you seriously, because here's how I know people are serious in wholesaling. They do deals. They consistently show up every day. They talk to motivated sellers. That's the ultimate checkbox for being a wholesaler. Getting your license means crap. You're just complying with the state. If you have to do it and you're in Illinois, fine. Past that, I seriously doubt that getting a piece of paper and passing a stupid little test makes you a serious wholesaler. But if you want to debate it, I'm right here. I have the opposite approach. When you have your real estate license and you're a wholesaler, I always ask, why did you do that? And 9 out of 10 of you said, somebody told me to do it. If you're that easily swayed, I'm not going to be a good person for you. Guys, you got to think with your own brain. Real estate license is designed for real estate professionals. We are in a completely different class. I'm sorry. We make a crap load of more money. Yeah, we put up a lot more crap, but I will tell you, the rewards are so much higher. So why do I want to stoop down and get my real estate license? I don't know. That's a different argument. So, which leads me to the next one. You feel like they should list their properties for top dollar with a realtor. Well, once you get a realtor's license, you're going to be more prone to think this way because it's just like grade school. It's just like college. These realtor tests are designed to program you to follow the realtor's code and ethics. And by the way, some of the most unethical people I've ever met have a real estate license. Some of the most fraudulent people you've ever met, the biggest Ponzi schemes in America, have been from people who have law licenses, which is absolutely crazy. So I'm here to tell you, a license does not mean you're a good person or you're any more serious about a business. So if you're scared they need to list it with a realtor for top dollar, that's in your own head. Do you know there's sellers out there that sell me properties to this date? I just bought 2 this week. The houses are perfect. I want to move into them. I just don't want to relocate. They're that good. And if I followed this advice on my old thinking, I would have never even made a wholesale offer. And I remember telling the guy, I go, look, dude, your house is in great shape. And here's what I do. I just do the takeaway. Why don't you just go ahead and list it with a realtor? Now, why would I say that, guys? Why would I say that? Because I want to find out if he's truly motivated to work with me. Because if he's even considering listing with a realtor, I'm probably not going to be a good option. Here's what he said. I want to be done. I'm moving out in 2 weeks. I don't have time for this. My mom passed away in this house. I don't want to deal with it anymore. So it was a probate, a pre-foreclosure, and a tax delinquency. It's like a trifecta for me. It was beautiful. I knew the motivation was there. But as I went through my MCTP, I pulled it out. I'm not scared to throw the elephant out in the room. And you guys shouldn't be either. So stop thinking that every property has to be listed for top dollar. There's people that just want the speed and convenience of a wholesaler, but they don't understand it. That's why you have to go through a presentation with them and help them out. Remember, your job is to be a guide, not a salesman. There is no sales in wholesaling. I'm sorry. If you're going to try to sell someone, you're going to go up a rough creek. Okay, next one. Let's keep moving. I got a lot to go over here. Here's the biggie one, right? You don't feel like you will know what to say if they say X. Like, Rick, what if they tell me this or that? I don't know how to respond. You're right. You're 100% right. Welcome to life. So remember, when you went through grade school, you had to study the material and then you got tested on it. But the problem is you did it with a book and a page. You never did anything live. And that's why you all feared. Listen, show me in the comments who feared speech in high school. God, I dreaded it. What the hell would I ever get in front of people and expose myself like that? I look back now, it was such an immature, stupid decision on my part. Now, I still did it, but I was terrible at it. And honestly, for a good part of my life, I did not know how to speak to people. And a lot of you are suffering from the same anxiety you had in high school about speech. Guys, let me know in the comments, who ran like hell from speech? None of us wanted to do it. The last thing I want to do is get up in front and judge in front of our classmates. And it is planted a seed in your head. I used to shake violently. But you know why? It was an irrational fear. And here's what I did, guys. I let the fear grow. Huge for 10 years. What I should have done is recognize the fear, address the fear on how to fix it, and take immediate action. The faster you close that loop, the less power the fear has over you, and you can move on with your life. By the way, I had the same fear of a dentist. I still do to a point, but I manage it. I don't run from dentists. I deal with the dentist. But I used to get pain before they even open my mouth. Like, oh God, they're going to drill. They're going to do this. I'm not a big fan of dentists, but I'm older. And dentistry was a lot different when I was a kid. But I'm getting off topic here because I got ADHD. I'm going to get back. Most of you are scared what the seller is going to say. Guess what? I'm going to let you know a little secret. You're not going to know every response the seller is going to tell you. This is part of the learning curve in wholesaling. Now, you can counteract this. Number one, go to freewholesaling.com. We teach you about the 5 main objections a seller can give you. Then you have to practice it. Then you actually have to practice under the gun, do like a role playing with me, Zach, maybe somebody in this live stream. And that's the best way to do it. Then you're actually going to have to do it with sellers. And you're going to have to work up that progression. It is called the journey of wholesaling. Here's the key. If you pay someone $100,000 to learn wholesaling, or I do it for free, which me and Zach do, you're going to go on the same ride. There's no instructor, no mentor, no coach that can do this for you. They just have to prepare you for it. So when I wrestled, I was more passionate about wrestling and football just because I felt I had more control in wrestling. Remember, in wrestling, I could control my cardio, my strength, but I still had to go through the journey and wrestle people better than me and get my butt kicked for 3 years. In football, I was extremely dependent on the fullback, the quarterback, the running back. Everyone did their jobs. And that's why I kind of like wrestling. You're kind of out on an island. But what I'm saying is my job, my coach's job, he said, listen, this guy is going to start right off the bat with an ankle pick on you. He's going straight for it. He's going to go to your left leg. So soon as he makes a motion, pull your left leg back and just do an arm drag, go to a single leg and do what you need to do. And I had to take the trust in it because you get out there and bam, just like he said, he went for it. And if I followed the instruction and it worked, guess what? I gained confidence. Now I know how to work with this guy. I know roughly what he's going to do, but I know how to react. So here's the secret. You're not going to know what every seller says, but you need to have a prepared response for him. This is where most of you screw it up. Stop trying to guess what they're going to say. Prepare for all 5 or 6 outcomes and then just practice them over and over and get rid of your ums and your buts. That's the secret to talking to a seller. But so many of you guys are taught that you need to know exactly what they're going to say and how it's impossible unless you got ESP. It's never going to work. So if we know that and we acknowledge it, we know how to deal with sellers. And this is how we want to do it. So we don't know what they're going to say. Accept it. I know that's scary. That's uncertainty. It makes you vulnerable. Hey, you're going to have to put some risk out there to go get what you want in life. Everything you want is on that other side of fear. Get through it. Listen, guys, a lot of our parents didn't teach us this stuff. God knows if you went through a public school, they didn't teach it. And I'm pretty sure a private school, unless you went in the Wharton School of Business, you have to get this through experience. So the sooner you do this, the more confident you're going to come. Guys, I was so bad my first year wholesaling. You wouldn't believe how bad I was. See, I tried to implement sales training into wholesaling. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Think about it. I go to a car dealership. Your boss expects you, if 100 customers walk through, you're going to close 100 customers. In wholesaling, if I get 100 leads, if I get 3 or 5 to the table and I can take 1 or 2 of them down, bingo, I did my job. So why am I going to go through a formal sales presentation to all these people? You're going to learn to disqualify people more than you qualify them. I'm going to show you how to do that. So here's where we are. You're scared. What if they say yes and they want to meet with me? Uh-oh. What do we do? Well, this is where I'm going to give you wet the whistle. Good Lord, that's sweet. I don't think I put any stevia in there. And so I squeezed the lemon in there with some water and woo. So here we are. What do we do? They're scared to say yes. So what I want to do is switch over to the iPad. And now we're going to walk through the actionable steps. And this is where you really got to pay attention. But guys, please understand, you have to recognize, first of all, put in the comments right now, who is honestly scared to talk to sellers? Because I want to talk directly to you. Because I feel so many people in the wholesaling space, educators, we talk over people. We give you the technicalities. We show you how to do this technique and this magical technique. When all we need to really do is teach you how to connect with human beings and how to go through a logical conversation with the seller. Who wants to go through and learn how to do this? Put it in the comments. And guys, part of this is you have to recognize what the problem is. Remember, I always tell you, if you can't tell yourself the truth, don't worry about the rest of it because you're never going to be able to solve it. Tony Robbins taught me at a very young age, it took me a long time to understand, you can't fix something if you don't recognize the problem. I recognized when I started, I was scared to death to talk to sellers. but somehow I got through it. You know how I got through it? I just kept showing up. That's all I need you to do. And by the way, it doesn't make you vulnerable or stupid if you put the comment in there. I actually give you guts for saying it, because once you recognize it, now you can consciously attack the problem. It's those of you who don't want to recognize, think you're superstar wholesalers, and I ask you to jump on a role play with me, and all I hear is buts. I already know you don't take the business seriously because you don't practice what you preach. Guys, if you were around on Friday night, I did a Discord, 200 people live, and I took a seller's live phone call. I actually called them out. They wanted to cancel a $130,000 deal on me. They just said, hey, we're done. I'm out. I go, ah. So it was important to me. So I had that schedule. I go, hey, why don't we just kill two birds with one stone? Why don't I just show you? Let me show you how I lead by example. And after a 10-minute phone conversation, we addressed the problem. I took full accountability. I said, we screwed up, even though somebody on my team screwed up. So the buck stops with me. I understand how you feel, and I completely understand why you want to get out of contract with me. If you want, I can send over the cancellation. Or what if we talk, and I know you've got to leave the house in about 3 weeks. What can I do to rectify it? And by the end of the conversation, here's how we settled it. He basically said, if you can pay my outstanding HOA lien, it was $850. He'll move forward the transaction. 130 grand. You guys think there's enough money to pay it there? Absolutely. Guys, I do these calls all day long. My team works it. And when they get stuck, they come to me. And that's how a good business runs. And that's how I'm teaching you guys. I want you to go out and have the conversations. And then when you get stuck, you come back on a live stream, or you join me on Flip with Rick Plus, or you jump on ZachDiscord.com, wherever it is. We are the most accessible wholesalers you'll find on the internet. Go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. Have one of my moderators help you out with that. Me and Zach constantly spend time on it. Guys, I work my butt off. I do wholesaling as a full-time business, and I do this, number one, to teach you and actually make you great wholesalers. And I pull back the paywall. Everybody else, you got to pay a ton of money. And we do live calls. Zach does live cold calling. And we just show you, we practice what we preach. And I want you to understand that. So if you're scared, let's move forward. I'm checking the comments right now. So let's talk a bit about this real quick. People go, I'm anxious because I'm an introvert. I have come to the conclusion, and Rami, I appreciate you putting out there, an introvert is a self-defined term that society gives you. Guys, for the longest time, I thought I was an introvert. Does anybody think I'm an introvert at this point? Now, I take a little bit to, I take a little bit to get started. So I'm the guy at the party that if it's not like a company or sponsored event or my family, I kind of keep to myself. I am more powerful in a room of people I don't know if I'm silent and quiet. Why? Because I can hear what everyone's saying. I immediately identify who I want to avoid: complainers, whiners, excuse seekers, people that use the word try, people that boast, brag, people that use their ego. I instantly filter the room so I do not waste my time. I've learned from much smarter people than me. Does that make me an introvert? Absolutely not. It makes me very smart. And so I want you to understand the word introvert, extrovert. People used to call Zach an introvert. Like, you got to be like, he's the complete, it doesn't matter. It is a self-defining label, and nobody's automatically an introvert or an extrovert. God made us all different. If you want to be in wholesaling, you're going to have to go out there and talk to people. And if you go, I'm an introvert, extrovert, I go, for the longest time, like, Zach was a very, very quiet child. Very quiet. You have no idea. I'm not going to say it, but like, he was an easy kid. He just didn't make a lot of fuss, played with his toys. So does that make him an introvert? He was very quiet. And then once he got in wrestling in high school, he became more vocal, like a lot of us do. And that's it. You learn to help people and you have a skill set. So do not get stuck with this introvert extrovert, because it's a ridiculous argument if you really think about it. So, okay, let me jump over to the iPad. Let's walk through actionable steps right now. And let's figure out how we can deal with this problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my screen up here. and hopefully my pen's going to work. And so what we need to do is let's just pretend we're just getting ready to talk to a seller. And this is what we do. So say you call a seller and basically you ask them, so you guys don't have to see all my atrocious handwriting. Just say the seller's interested in talking to you. So the first thing you have to do is qualify and disqualify. If you want to learn how to do that, go over to freewholesaling.com. Because most part, you're going to disqualify people through our MCTP. If you want to know more, go to freewholesaling.com. But what you've got to understand is I am not going to spend energy on people who are not interested in selling my house. So if I contact 100 people and only 3 are interested in talking to me, don't go into the spiel on the 97 that aren't interested. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. And you're talking to deaf ears. And a lot of you guys still do it. You know why? Because you go to MLS, hide behind real estate agents. I'm not saying you can't get deals there, but as a starter, it's a really bad place to start. It's just going to set you up for failure. So once you find out someone's interested, you simply got to find out 2 main things. Ready? So number 1, are you the owner? I'm using shorthand. Everybody got that? Very simple discussion piece. Are you the owner? Why? Because if you're not talking to the owner, if you get done with a 10 or 15 minute spiel and they're not the owner, you just wasted your time. So if I got to make 100 calls, I've discounted 97 and I got 3 to play with, I've got to find the next layer of filtering to go through. So the first one is we're talking about, are you the owner? And number 2, which is this one's going to come down there, interested in selling. Now, guys, I'm just giving you the mechanical part. I'm not a guy who's ever going to tell you word for word what to say, because I believe you have to be authentic in the language that you use. And if you're not authentic in the language you use, sound like a freaking robot, and you might as well go sign up for one of these gurus AI, like we will find the leads for you. We will screen the leads for you. We will book the contracts and the appointments for you, and we'll close the deal and you'll never have to talk to anyone. If you guys believe that, probably just shut off this live stream right now. It ain't going to work. So once we know the 2 basic questions, that's it, guys. Are you the owner? Hey, do you have interest in selling the property? Are you interested in selling me the property? That's it. That's the ones where you get past the initial qualifications. That is my yay or nay. Does everybody understand that? It's simple. Don't complicate this. You guys have way too complicated scripts. Now, how you want to say these words, this is where you put your personality, your flair on it. Zach has a very particular way he says it. I have a completely different way. You know why? Because it's what makes us confident and certain. So you have to practice this. Here's what I don't want you to do. Please don't go out and practice with your sellers. Like live leads, it's very expensive and it's going to kill you when you do it. So vary it up so you don't sound like a robot, but like when it's essential, you got to answer 2 questions. That's it. If they can't get past these 2 questions, this is my filtering. This is where I'm going to disqualify almost most of the leads. Do you guys understand you are going to be disqualifying most people, and you don't need to spend this long-winded, what's the price? What's your motivation? If they absolutely have 0 interest in selling, you have to move past that lead. I know you go, oh, it's a dead lead. I'm going to make it happen. Come on, guys. Like, be smarter than that. You know how to do it. Now, once you do that, it's real simple. We now go into what we call MCTP. That's a C. Why? Because it's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Period. I'm not calling anyone stupid here. I'm just saying we've got to keep it very, very simple. The more simple we make stuff, the better we do. So M's for motivation, C's for condition, T's for timeline, P's for price. End of story. So what we do is we go through the motivation and we just walk them through everything we do with it. And guys, this isn't rocket scientists. So when we do motivation, so here's how I like to do it. Tell me a little bit about the house. Shut my mouth and get them talking. Here's where you have to get away from. You have to get away from yes, no questions. If you start to become a robot and doing, is it 3 bedrooms? Yes. Okay. 2 bathrooms? Yes. This is not a conversation. It's purely transactional and you have to fix it. So the best way to do it is ask open-ended questions. The easiest way is start with an open-ended question and then let them give you feedback. And then now you can start a natural conversation. So if I have MCTP, it's just a math problem. So if we start off with motivation and they go, hey, listen, I have a rental. I haven't really taken care of it. It's gone south and the renters just moved out. It needs some renovations and we're just kind of tired of it. The insurance has gone up and we're just not good landlords. And this, wow. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, here's the problem with motivation. Sellers do lie. I'm not going to even hide this from you. They're going to lie to you. So you're going to have a litmus test on how much they tell you the truth. I'm going to walk you through it today because you need to know if the seller's telling you the truth. It's actually easy. Lies get holes shot in it all the time because they're not consistent. Someone who lies makes it up on the fly to get them past that. But what happens, they go deeper in the hole to the point they get caught in their lies and they get caught. I give all sellers one free lie. Here you go. Here's a coupon for one free lie. And then I call them to it. So they told me, hey, it's a distressed house. I'm a tired landlord. So I'm going to put in my notes, tired landlord. So hopefully you guys got a good CRM, maybe X Lead, something like that. But whatever you use, just keep accurate notes. How do I know if they're a liar? I keep accurate notes in my CRM. Now, say I got to do a follow-up phone call and they go, yeah, we're moving out of the property next week, so it'll be good to go. I'll go, wait a minute. I thought you said you were renting the property out landlord. She's like, did I say that? Right then, I know I got a problem. And now I got to address it. Guess what? Most of you are fixated on why they're lying to you. That's not your goal here. I'm not here to make them feel bad. What's my goal? I want to get to the truth. I can only fix problems if I have the truth. When people lie to you in real estate, they try to carry it all the way to the closing table. Why? Because they want to get paid their money and they're scared if they tell you the truth that you might not follow through, might not even buy the house or buy it at a much reduced price. But if I knew the truth up front, I would have never made that type of offer. It is your job to seek the truth as soon as possible. A lot of realtors wait till the end to drop the time bombs on it. Wholesalers have to solve the problem up front. I love a seller that's brutally honest with me, and they are the easiest deals I can ever do. The hardest deals I deal with are the ones where they don't tell me the truth. I cannot honor that price if you don't tell me the truth. Then I got to dig through it. So motivation is the first one that I do. And I simply ask them, tell me about the house. Is it updated? I can use words like that. We talk about the roof. And then either they're going to glorify the property or they're going to usually break it down. Now, here's a simple technique when they go, everything's perfect, and you get the Facebook or Instagram answer, everything's perfect in my life. My hair always looks naturally good. Just my cheek always is reflective in the light. Everything's perfect. It's got white picket fence. I got crown molding. I mean, the house is amazing. I don't even have to clean it. It cleans itself. I go, oh, wait a minute. I go, sounds like the perfect house. Why are you even interested in selling? Shut up and see if you can get the truth or a response from them. Think about it, guys. Unless they have a logical answer, they have to explain it. Most of the lists we chase down are problematic houses. I want problems. The bigger the problem, the more money and the more people I can help out with it. So very rarely do we get perfect houses. In fact, sometimes I get houses, I have to look twice. I go, man, I feel like I'm being punked. But there are people that sell me perfect houses. It happens all the time. So the next one is, so guys, what I'm teaching you here is, I know you understand MCTP. What I'm trying to teach you is how to roll into the conversation. So I just went over motivate. I asked them the 2 qualifying questions. I decided to move forward. And here's what I do with my red pen. I strike off M. Why? Because that's what they talked about. Now, do you notice I go immediately to the condition? But what happens if they don't want to talk about the condition and they go instantly to price? What do? Let me know in the comments, because this happens all the time. I go, oh crap, I got the M done. I'm going to CTP and they jumped the P. I'm not ready for this. What do I do? Don't panic. There's only 4 pillars you have to attack here. You got to memorize in your mind. If you want, I give you full permission to take this pen and do it just like this. M, C, T, P. I don't know if you can see it. I actually wrote on my hand. I feel like I'm back in 9th grade again. I wasn't a good student, guys. I don't hide it from anyone, but I'm just telling you, you have to understand is, so Juan's got a good one here. He says, hey, oh, wait a minute. I got the wrong one here. He says, use the car analogy. So here's the car analogy. Juan's got it, and I'll show you how this technique works. Zach's a big advocate of this one. I'm not as much, but hey, listen. Hey, John, I want to get to the price, but for me to give you the best offer possible, do you mind if I ask you a few questions so I can learn more about the property? That's how I do it. Here's how my son does it. Hey, John, have you ever bought a car you haven't test driven? No. He goes, well, why are you asking me to do the same? Let me just ask you a few questions and I can give you the best offer possible. Do you see how we play on it? Because the problem is, if you just get to price right off the bat, guess what? You are qualified to work at McDonald's as an order taker. I don't have nothing against McDonald's employees. They work very hard, but there's no relationship. It's, do you want the number 1, the 2, the 3, and do you want to supersize? And how much do you want me to clog your arteries today? That's the only conversation you need to have at McDonald's. Listen, it is what it is. I have nothing against anyone working there. I'm just telling you, don't wind up being a line employee. So if you let them jerk you around like that, and I get a lot of Jersey guys down here in Florida. Rick, just get to the price. All I want is the price. Hey, John, I can give you a price, but you're probably not going to like it. If I can learn and ask a few questions about the property, I can give you the best offer for it. Don't you think that's going to be a wise choice? Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you roll over and just go to price, you are now the order taker and the seller's in control. And I guarantee you're going to get a really bad deal. So what I'm basically saying is, like, I'm in control here. I'm going to say it nicely where you don't even know it. And who doesn't want the best price for the property? So now we are back to price. Bingo. I just walked around that time bomb. Most of you get run under the bus on this. You're like, so there's a lot of different options. You can like give them $1, but like at this point, I'm just asking permission to try to go back in order. Now, price is the one you can never do first. It's got to be the last. Price has to be last. Every now and then they go, Rick, I'll take $110,000 for it. Okay, well, I'll put that on my notes, but let me ask some questions about the house. So make it as a note and move on. So now we're back to condition. Thank God. Now we're back to condition. I overcame the price jumper. Now I'm back on condition, right? So on condition, it's simply, hey, tell me a little bit more about the property. Now, I want them to use their own words. And their words, remember how I talked in the beginning, the only way you get offended or upset about something is your interpretation of the words. Now you have to filter out their words. Most people will just give you the authentic, truthful meaning of what their words is. So when they start going, it needs updating. I already know right off the bat, it's going to need rehab, and I'm going to start making notes. It could use some TLC. I can give you what the word TLC means. It's a dump. And everything's house, but you probably want to fix the roof. That probably means replace the roof. So this is where you use your ears like a magnet. You have to be the most amazing listener. And if your wife is constantly, or your mom is constantly telling you, you need to like listen, you don't listen to me, she's right. This is where you have to become the ultimate listener. So if you choose not to do it, the ladies in your life, you better fix it in wholesaling, because you're going to get your butt run over big time. So this is where you put in the notes and you just go through the condition And this is where you start having a conversation. You're not a robot. How is the roof? How is the AC? How is the flooring? No. Oh, so tell me a little about that rehab. Well, what type of updating does it need? What do you mean specifically by that? Well, the kitchen is, it was kind of grandma's taste back in the day. Okay. So, and here's what I do all the time. I go, honestly, if you had to wave a magic wand, what would you fix on the house? And they'll tell you what their dream is, what their most important thing is to fix. And I go, what's the one thing that you like the most? So I'm going to try to have a positive conversation with them. And then once they start, remember, this is like the investigation before you go to trial. This is where you're deposing people and doing exploratory. Now, you can't make them say anything. You just ask them nicely. The more information you get, the more weapons you have at your hip. If you have no information, I need to know, do I have a rehab? Where are we at ballpark wise? And then I always wrap up with this. When they start getting rough, and I'll go like this, and I'll put this question mark here. What do you think it would take to get that house back to really good condition where you would be really happy to live there? They'll tell you, man. They don't. Now, a lot of times they're off on their numbers, but when they tell me 50 grand, it's usually closer to 70 to 100. So I like to double whatever number the seller sells me because they're unrealistic and they're living in an environment. They don't even know how bad it is till someone else comes in and tells them. My job's never to tell them how bad their house is. I'm here to help you with your situation. We do not judge. It's the no judgment zone. It's so easy to make someone feel bad about a house. You can't do it. So I've been bit by a dog. I've been bit by fleas. I got snorted up by a pig that was a pet in a home, which is the craziest thing I still think. I had my ear bit by a monkey once. I don't pass judgment. I don't like to be harmed, but guys, I've met with a lot of sellers and these are all things that I've had to deal with. So once we get into condition, we're doing everything. The next one is, what's our next one? We are on MCTP. So we did M, we did C, we got T, and we always save P for last. So obviously time frame. This is my favorite of all the filters on qualifying people because this is what separates the real motivated sellers from the people that are just going to waste your time. The easiest thing to ask them is simply, if I buy your house, where are you going to be moving to? Shut your mouth. And I'm going to put it on here, moving to. Why do I want to know that? Because I want to know how urgent you are and how much you thought this out. I asked you guys in the comments, have you ever moved, committed to putting your house on the market or even sell to a wholesaler or sell cash without knowing where you're going to go? The answer is 100%, 99.9% of you said you have to have a plan before you sell your house. Remember, selling your house is probably the number 2 stressful thing in your life, probably over death and taxes, somewhere in the 1 to 2 to 3 range, but you have to have a plan. It's hard. It sucks. Moving's terrible. And a lot of times I move people 20, 30 years, their whole life's packed up in that house. Remember, in their eyes, it's a home. We're viewing it as a property. We have to bridge that gap as wholesalers. Most of the people I buy from have an extreme emotional connection to the house. It's my job to soften that blow. Realtors are terrible at this because they just look at it as a sale and a commission. So knowing that, where are you moving to? If I do not get an instant answer on a solid foundation, I already know they're probably not going to make a super fast decision. Now, when they say, listen, I'm moving with Aunt Betty to, Connecticut, and I got to be there by the end of the month. Today's the 5th. Can you get this done by then? Dude, I'm all in, man. And you know what makes me powerful? I have all the information. She tells me everything is wrong with the house. I have enough ability to actually make her an offer on the spot. Now, you guys don't have to make an offer on the spot, but if you have a highly motivated seller, it's in your best interest to make that offer, subject to whatever contingencies and inspections you want to do. Because if you don't do it, a guy like me is going to come up and grab that property all the time. So where are you moving to? Now, when I asked them, so if I buy your house, what's the plan? Where are you guys headed to? He goes, I don't know. I got to figure it out. That's a tough one. So if they live in the house and they give you that answer, that means they're at best 90 days away, and most likely 6, 12, or 18 months away. This is the reality of business that drives us crazy. And this is where we make a determination. Are they less than 30 days? Are they 30 to 90 days? Are they 91 days to 180 days? Or are they 180 plus? And this is who I decide how I'm going to allocate my time in chasing these deals down. How do I do that? I have to have a CRM. I have to. Guys, do you know how many people are in my CRM that are loaded? Like, I got to tell you, though, I have so many 6 to 12 month people in there, but I always stay in front of them. There's someone always on my staff going, hey, remember we met 3 months ago? I have to do it. If you guys think you can do it by memory, don't do it. Have a very highly qualified CRM that will let you structure this so you can be really good at what? Follow up. Because 75% of your deals are going to come from follow up. Real estate is about timing. If you are prepared and you are right in the seller's face at the right time, you started here, but sometimes you got to be over here. You have to have a CRM to follow up. It is a huge, huge issue with that. So let's talk about this, guys, real quick. Let's talk about the biggest objections that you can deal with in real estate. And I want to simplify this because I got 3 million notes and I don't have time to go over like every one of them. And I want you to understand how this works. So we are on objections. So here's what I want to do. You guys put in the comments. Don't get me started on the divorce or hard deals, guys. I don't hide that from anyone because you got two people that are splitting their entire lives up, a lot of time kids. I'm not a huge advocate of divorce leads. I think they're very stressful, and 9 times out of 10, they do got to get top dollar because each one's so pissed at each other. So I don't know about you, but I went through a nasty divorce as a child, and I got to endure 40 years of my parents just constantly squabbling. So I don't like divorce leads. I don't really even push you guys to do them because one side wants to give it away and the other side wants $1 billion. And it's like, they seem very attractive until you understand you've got to deal with both parties. And when both parties won't even talk to each other, it usually takes a lawyer or a mediation person to get them to the table. And that's one I don't like. So what I want you to do, it ain't vodka, I promise you that. It's lemon and seltzer water. By the way, guys, I only drink water and like seltzer water. So I used to be have a huge Diet Pepsi problem, but I've worked it out over time. I just like the bubbles in it. So let's talk about objections because we got to keep moving here. So if you guys want to put objections in the column, I already have the ones that I know that always come up. Number 1, I'll get the ball rolling. Guys, a lot of times talking to sellers, think about the first time you had an interest in somebody. It was horrifying. Like, how do I go up and talk to them? It's the same thing. It's the same problem you had in your speech class. And now you're coming to the realization to get what I want. If I just took action in high school, I could have got so much further. That's a yes and a no. So let's start with the first objection. Who is this? Most of you just freeze. Like, crap. Who is this? What is he talking? Like, who is, because what are you talking to me? What are you doing? And my favorite line is, my partner drove by your house. I'm using abbreviated terms. I'm not spelling illiterate. Actually, I'm actually, the one good thing I did in life is I was very good at spelling. I was a very competitive in spelling bees, but that will never make you a dime in life. I promise you. I'd rather you just be a horrible speller and a great wholesaler. My partner drove by the house, thought it would be a good fit. We're buying houses in the neighborhood. And guess what? your property on 123 USA Street. Seems like a great fit. Do you see how he just rolled into it? It's not hard. Who is this? Hey, my name's Rick, and then they'll go into the next one. How did you get my information? That's the other part. My info. My name is Rick, and my partner drove by your property, and we're looking to buy houses in that neighborhood, and your property on 123 USA Street seems like a perfect fit. Do you have interested, or you thought about selling it? Shut up. That's it. Objection number one. Because a lot of you go like, how did you get my information? And some reason you guys go, well, I went into X leads and I pulled this and then I skip traced your number. Skip trace. What's that mean? Are you following me? No. Guys, no. They're not on a special list. You're going to make them feel really weird. Listen, we drove by your house, wrote down the address, seemed like a good fit. We're buying a house in the neighborhood. You ever thought about selling? Simple conversation. That's it. Don't get into, you're on a special list and because you're on code violations. I don't understand. If you want to win the war, you got to win the battle. Do not make them feel less empowered. You are correct in what you're saying, but it's not going to help you out at all. So that's the first one. What else we got here? Let me see here. So Kevin goes, hey, what if they ask what makes it a good fit? We're looking to buy houses just like yours, which is a 3-2. We've bought some other houses in the neighborhood and we would like to expand. Have you ever thought about selling it? That's it. Like, guys, the reality is either they thought about selling it or not. Here's the one thing. I never, ever go down a tunnel with them. And this is a Bob Barker line. You ready? If the price is right, I'll sell anything. Okay, let me know what the number is. Just real quickly. I already know it's got a 98% failure rate unless I know the property's distressed. So, guys, did I drive by it? No, but I can drive by it. I can go into X leads and I can pull up the house on like a Google image. You can go to any software and do that. Like, so you're not really stretching it by doing that, but it's completely up to you. This is the one that trips up a lot of you guys, and I don't understand this part. So one's very active today. I appreciate the participation. They threatened to call the police on me. Well, so what law are you breaking? Tell me. It's, one day people want to defund the police, and the next day they want to protect them against somebody calling them. You're not going to get hurt by a phone call. If that was the case, I'd be calling the police every 5 minutes because a lot of you guys call me and I still answer. So, guys, you have to understand it's not against the law to talk to them. I'm not getting the DNC and all that other crap, and I want you to understand that. Here's number 2. Are you going to give me one of those low offers? Are you one of those types of guys or gals? Man, some of you go like, oh, crap. What am I going to do? She knows I'm going to give her a low offer. And I simply ask them, what's a low offer to you? Why do I do that? I'm just trying to have a conversation to see if we can like crack the ice. Maybe they'll spit a number out to me. I don't know. We got to figure this out. This is all when we get to the price part at the end, because these are all the objections that hang you up. Next one. When can you close? This is the easiest one, in my opinion. The simplest one. Do you understand this? Hey, when can you close? You're looking for a script. Guys, we can close at whatever speed you need. So when do you want to close? That's all. I'm just going to volley it back to him. When do you want to close? I'm not moving into the house, so I can work with you. If you need 30 days, I can give you 30 days. If you need 3 months, I can give you 3 months. By this point, you should have already explored where they're going and when they want to be there. So I already have a catered answer to this. I'm all set. I already know she needs 90 days to get out. And a lot of times they're like, well, 90 days, most people aren't going to sit around for 90 days. I go, Beth, let me tell you this. The good news is I'm not moving into the house. So like a traditional sales and real estate, I can fix with you. If 90 days makes you comfortable and will solve your problem, then I'll be there for it. What I'll do is just set the contract for 90 days out. And if you want, if you just give me ample notice, at least 10 days, we can move that closing date up. And what I'll do is call it on or before. That way we're covered either way. Does that sound fair to you? Guys, that's all I'm doing. See, the thing is, your objections, you should already have preloaded questions based on your exploratory when you qualify them. If you go through MCTP, you already have a built-in objection reaction to it because you already know what they want to accomplish. So when someone goes, hey, can you close in like 2 weeks? Listen, guys, the reality is most people, if they're living in the house, they can't get out of there. On average, it's 45 to 90 days. So these quick closes, there's wholesalers that go out there and tell you, I can buy your house with you still in it. I'm not one of those guys. I can do it, but I don't want to ever insinuate that you still own the home because it's predatory in nature. And I see a lot of problems going on in the business with that. And you've got to understand this. So then the one where you guys are mostly uncertain is when they go, how does the process work? And if you got to understand is if they know it's just not you, because a lot of people think we go down to the courthouse, we sign a deed over and you get a bag of cash. So here's the really cool is I have a team I work with. We first start with the title company. This is a third party that basically will take the deposit and they act in everyone's best interest to facilitate the closing, to do any type of prorations, to figure out taxes, to get the final payoff for your mortgage, and they handle the whole thing for you. And honestly, if I take care of all the expenses, I'm going to take care of that for you. And once I have this contract solidified, they're going to reach out to you immediately to get some information from you and let you know how the process works. They are licensed and insured. I love working with them because they work on your behalf as the seller. And I would not do this without a professional that's licensed and insured to handle the title work. So all the paperwork is done correctly. All the signatures are notarized and everything gets recorded on public record. Just like you traditionally sell a house, we're just helping you handle the whole paperwork. Do you have any questions about the process that maybe I can give you a little bit more clarity? Once again, I'm having a conversation with them. If you go into this, have a conversation, you cannot be a robot. And these are the biggest things that are always going to come up. Now, let's talk about when we get to price, because this is the last one, price, right? So we've stricken off MCT and we're down the price. So I'm going to tell you, I have a different methodology than most people do this. I don't use the word price. I don't use the word offer. So here's the ones we are never going to use. I'll put them in green. Offer, price, ask, bid, big no-nos. Remember, if you truly want to seek out people's motivation, you have to find the right words to get the outcome you want. How do I do that? Let me show you how to do it. You've got to find people that need to sell their house versus people that want. People that want to sell their house, this is where they all... People that need to sell their house, I'm going to use words like get, need, how soon. Let me give you an example. Hey, John, what do you need to get from this property so you can move on with your life? Simple. Okay. I'm also going to have words when I'm going to, especially if somebody's living in the home, I'm going to avoid the word home. I'm going to avoid the word house because it's just too personal. And remember, the biggest problem we have with people who live in houses for a long time, it's an emotional thing. For God's sakes, they mark their kids' growth charts on it. All of you can remember the day that the house you were brought up to with your parents. Good or bad, you remember it. I have a floor plan burnt in my head as a child. Who doesn't have, like, I think it's like me. I'm like a little bit crazy, but it's truthful. I could right now walk in my front door and walk all the way back to my bedroom in my head. I can rehearse it. I know it step by step. I've often contemplated by buying my home I grew up in, but it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit out there, but it's crazy. So when we get the price, I'm going to use words like get, need, and do that. Now, I've taught you on how you get price. It's simple. When you get the price, this is the point where we teach you to go for no. I'm not here to teach you to go for no today, but if you want to learn more, just go over to freewholesaling.com, which I'm going to put on the bottom here so you guys don't think I'm crazy, because I believe the fundamentals of wholesaling will save you. So it's on the bottom here. Now, okay, let me jump back in my screen. There we go. So the first thing is I'm going to go for no. You have to have massive rapport built up. So here's simply I say, hey, John, what do you need to get for the house? Here's what John's normally going to say to me. Rick, I don't know. You came here. I thought you were going to give me an offer. John, I know you don't know exactly, but if you had to guess, what do you think you and your wife would need to move on away from this property? Shut up again. Every time they serve the ball, I'm going to put it back over in their court. Now, when John still doesn't, I want to get a number from John just to gauge where I can go. If John doesn't answer the question twice, I'm going to have permission to give him a massive low offer, and I might upset him with it, but it is what it is. This is how negotiations work. And this is the point where I say, John, I tell you what, if you had to guess, what do you think that number would be? Rick, I don't know. I said, John, you're leaving me no room. What if I just offer you 80 grand? Are you crazy, Rick? That's like half of what we expected. John, tell me what the number is. Help me help you. Because at the end of the day, all I want to do is buy your house. It's got to work for you and it's got to work for me. I need to know where we are. And if we're too far away, I will shake your hands. I will help you get the house sold. Maybe it's not the best buyer for it. But if you're truly interested in selling the property with the issues you showed me, because there's a lot of them, I want to see if we can put a deal together today for you. So I threw out a number. What's the number? Don't just tell me double the number is what it goes. Well, me and my wife discuss it. We can't take anything less than 105,000. Okay. Now I'm between 80 and 105K. Now he initially threw out double. And so here is my parameters. It's not going to take me long to close that gap. Now I might have to follow up and do that, but this is what you have to understand. So this is where we're going to get to the tips part real quick. And this is what's going to help your confidence so you can talk to any seller. And you have to absolutely understand that. Number one, you always have to smile. Smile and dial. Smile in person. People like people who smile. You guys come on here live. I go, dude, smile. Like I'm getting depressed watching you. People read you. Your smile is like your business card on your face. So look pretty and smile, right? That's what they tell you, right? That's why we all go see a dentist and keep our teeth clean. So next one. You don't have 100% closing ratio. Why is that? That's a car salesman. Do you understand that? That is a car salesman. When 100 people walk through the dealer, the general manager or the general sales manager says, Rick, I expect you to have a shot at closing all 100 of them. In wholesaling, it's the complete opposite. I get 100 people in, I kick 95 out the door, 97. I have 3 I work with. I get 1 or 2 under contract. I don't waste effort trying to close people that want to sell their house. It's a waste of time. I've tried it, guys. I've tried it till I turn blue. Put in the comments the people that sit here and just chase properties down on MLS. It sucks. Why? You're not direct to seller and you're dealing with an agent and you have to compete. I do the opposite. I go direct to seller. I have no real estate agent and I have very little competition. You want to know why I get the best deals? I have no problem getting 6-figure deals off of single family houses. Is it every deal? Absolutely not. Here's a really good one. I got another one. So I appreciate the part. What about when they say we send all their contracts to the lawyer to take a look before signing? Great. What's your lawyer's name and can I get their email address and phone number? So don't be like, oh my God. The worst thing you can do is resist the lawyer. Embrace it. Tony Robbins taught me this. Dance with resistance. Dance with it. It works. Dance. 9 times out of 10, they don't have a lawyer. They don't have a contact or any of that stuff. So you'll be able to kill this objection right off the bat. Did I tell you sellers lie to you? They do. So you're politely calling them and go, that's awesome. Great. I just get their email, their contact information? I'll send it right over to them. 9 times out of 10, you'll never hear a word from them. And then when you do it, the ones I've actually sent to the lawyer, they wait weeks on end just to open it up. And they go, it looks okay to me. Like they're very generic about how they answer this stuff. Listen, it doesn't take a lawyer to look over just a simple real estate contract. People do it because they're uncomfortable with you. And once again, you have to get to the truth. I'm happy to send over to a lawyer. What is their contact information? They go, well, it's complicated. I just need an email and a phone number. And so I'll start even rattling off lawyers from it. Is it John over on Ocean, or using Jim Smith on Fifth Street? He does all the closings around here. If not, I can put you in contact with a good lawyer. Like, I don't care. I don't know how, like, lawyers don't scare me at all. 50% of lawyers are wrong every day in America. You know why? Because that's how the stats work out. Lawyers get paid by the hour. That's why they do it. So do not ever fear a lawyer. Ever. Ever. Okay. Remember, God gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth. This should be pretty straightforward, right? You have to become an amazing listener. You can't fix listen, guys, how many times do you talk to people and they're just waiting? All they are is being polite and waiting to speak their mind. So have you ever talked to someone, you can see them in their head, they're like, hell, I do it. I know it. I have to stop. When I'm with sellers, I just shut up and I'm like a bird. I'm quiet. But most people are just waiting to spit out their opinion. And once they're processing what they're going to say, it means they're no longer listening to you. How do I know this? When people instantly spit out a response to me, I know they didn't listen to what I just said. Your sellers know this too. So what you have to do is absolutely absorb the information and repeat back what they said to you. You have to be an amazing listener. If you can't do this, you cannot talk to sellers. You can't do it. Okay? Next one. No negative talk, especially about competition. Now, I didn't always abide to this, and I regret it, and I lost deals over it. Whenever you talk negatively, it makes you look bad, not the other person. I've sat in rooms where people like trash me with realtors, and if you don't respond, you actually look like the hero in it, because it's like responding with violence. There is a time for it, but like trash talking, like unless you're in the WWE, it's just to feed people's egos. It is instant satisfaction. You don't want to work for that. So you have to understand it. And guys, you have to be very careful with the words you use. And so I get all these people tell me, you have to have the correct sales training for wholesaling. No, you don't. You know how you do it? Ready for this? You be you. And if you can be you, you're unique, which means there's nobody else out there like you. How do you be you? You be authentic. I know that's scary, but authentic doesn't mean you just roll over and give people what they want. It just means you get to the truth faster than anybody else. And by doing that, you can solve the problem and you can actually get a deal done. So guys, I'm just telling you, I could go on for hours for this. What I want you to do is jump over to freewholesaling.com. I go through in detail to show you how to do this. And if you will join me there, I promise you, I will teach you how this all works. because I only got like an hour and a half window, and like I'm running out of time, and I want to take you guys questions. And guys, it's okay. So let's go back and review real quick. First of all, I told you guys right off the bat, just stop being scared to talk to sellers. The fear is all up here. Here's how you fix the fear, guys. You actually take actionable steps and close the gap from when you recognize your fear and addressing it and overcoming it. How do you do it? Just get on the phone and start talking to people. But I will tell you, you have to rehearse. I think sometime next week, either me or Zach, or me and Zach together will come on and we do role play. Hell, I'll do it with live sellers. I don't care. But a lot of you guys tell me, oh, I'll do anything. And I get you on here to role play. And then before I know it, it's like, it's just ums, buts. And that's my other thing is you have to remove the ums and buts. Do you know how you do that? You practice. That's it, guys. You simply practice. And the more you practice, the more confident you become. Because I'm going to show you one last graphic here, and then we'll roll into some questions here. Let me jump back on the screen here. So I'm going to give you a graph, and it's real simple. God knows I did not make it in geometry. So right here is going to be your confidence. Okay, so everybody sees an XY graphic on here. And the next one is going to be the hours you put into wholesaling. And I'm telling you this right now. It's not just me who thinks this, it's everybody else. So you have a confidence here. So most of you are starting off right here. Let me use a red pen here. Right here. And most of you think you should be like right up here. You're not going to start there. It's physically impossible. Here's what's going to happen is you're going to get to 10 hours. And guess what? You might not get very far with your confidence. Then you're going to get to 50 hours. It's going to go up a little bit. Here's where most people get the big breakthrough is right around 100 hours. You start to get more of an infinite return. And then at some point, you're going to get to 500 hours, and then you're going to get to 1,000 hours. The faster you get these hours out of the way, this is what works. There's a direct correlation between the number of hours. So if you get at 100 hours here, what's your confidence? Is it based on the number of deals you get? Here's the problem is you're in a world where everybody wants instant gratification. So everyone's chasing the result and they're ignoring the action. Me and Zach teach you the actions. The results will come with it. How? You have to be massively consistent. The more consistent you are, the better off you're going to do. I'm telling you guys, this chart right here tells you that you're going to have to put time into wholesaling. And anyone tells you they can sell you a 4-week coaching program, a 4-week sales training program, a 4-week negotiating program, you guys got to stop buying into this stuff. You are going to have to make a commitment to wholesaling. The wholesaling is not hard. It's just we complicate it as human beings. If you're willing to stay in the game and not quit and not be scared of people, be on the phones, and understand everything you want is on the other side of that phone call, the other side of that appointment, the other side of that cash buyer. And I don't have certainty what's going to come out with you. I had somebody the other day goes, Rick, I want to buy X leads. They sent me an email and they said, I want to know with certainty how this is going to make me successful. Dude, the software ain't going to make you successful. Software is just a tool. You are the predecessor to if you're going to be successful in wholesaling. Everything else is just a tool. We recommend xleads.com because to me, it's the only all-in-one wholesaling platform I've seen yet where you can do your CRM. You can pull all your lists. It's endless what you can do. You can do a driving for dollars app in it. You can do your dispo in it. Like it never stops. We have a power matching option. Guys, If you guys wanted to get Dispo software before, you had to go buy it separately, and it was anywhere from $500 to $3,000 a month. So if you guys want to check it out, go over to xleads.com. It's really cool. And this is the company me and Zach have founded, and we handle everything within it. It's a very powerful thing. We've been working on this for over a year, actually 2 years in the planning stages, and we decided just to go ahead and move forward with it. So every now and then I do guest appear on the support calls and leads. And by the way, every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we do an X Lead support call. You can check it out there. And we love it, dude. I've just got 3 monster deals off of X Leads, and everyone's using it. And we want everyone to give us feedback on it. And listen, it's something new and you have to learn to do it. But I understand wholesaling. I think I'm one of the top wholesalers out there. Number one, I've been doing it for the longest. I'm not the richest wholesaler financially wise, because I really enjoy being with my family and spending time. I do not spend all day in an office. But I will tell you this. I know exactly what a wholesaler needs. I'm tired of having 5 and 6 windows opened up. If you're tired of doing that and you're tired of paying, if X Leads cannot give you a pay raise by consolidating all your services together, don't buy it. I'm just telling you. We cut out a lot of the stuff and we make you the affiliate, and the game's got to change. So we talked about the gurus. I think we've accomplished what we need to do, that we gave you guys options. So the next thing is give you options, because we wanted it in our business. We fought for the last 2 years. So we have consolidated everything. So the really cool thing is you can sit your JV deals internally with me and Zach, and we get to them faster. It saves us time and it's much more efficient. And that's how we do a lot of our partnerships. And we've even offered an X plan where you include the Flip with Rick Plus into it. For the first time, you pay one simple fee. You can pay it for the year and get a 50%, get a big discount on it, or you can pay it monthly and go along with it. Remember, you should not be going in and out of a software for a month or two. That is bad business. And you're just wasting time and money. If you don't want to commit to it, don't do X Leads, because I'm looking to work with people in the long run, and we can do our training, our platforms. And my favorite thing to do is pull lists and show you guys how to organize them. And then we can follow up on your CRMs, and then you guys can share leads and do whatever you want. So check it out there, guys. And that's it. So if you guys are on Flip with Rick Plus, give me about 5 minutes. I will jump on that one and we'll go from there. So I appreciate you guys. Let me clear my screen here. What else did I have? I think that's it, guys. So if you have anything else, if you have any questions, guys, make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, for God's sakes. Being subscribed is how we can influence more people in this business and help out more people. So I appreciate you guys. You're on Flip with Rick Plus. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be over there. If you guys want to learn more about Flip with Rick Plus, just go to flipwithrickplus.com. And that's where we partner with communities to help them become aspiring wholesalers and actually give them real actionable steps to get stuff done and help them solve deals while they're working on them. So guys, I appreciate your time. Stop being scared to talk to sellers. I'm telling you right now, it's all in your head. You have everything you need. You just got to implore it. Number one, recognize it. If you're scared of it, recognize it, write it down. Number two, take the plan to fix it and take the steps. The sooner you do it and you close that time gap, the more effective of a wholesaler you're going to be. And you will change the projection of not only your life, of everybody you love that's gathered around you. I made the decision 21 years ago. You've seen the effect it's had on my family, my life, and on yours. And I do not take you guys for granted. This is why I always talk to the wholesaler that really is trying to get deals and get it going, because too many people are talking over your guys' heads. We need to get you guys deals. We need to get you help. I don't want to scare and confuse you, but you're going to have to work. That one, me and Zach will always tell you the truth. So we'll see you guys on Thursday. I'll be back over here with Zach, and we'll be on Flip with Rick. I'll see you guys. Have a good one. See you.